How's it going, everyone? J-Trey Productions back with another new video for you. I did take a week off because I had some mic troubles, but I went ahead and bought a new one, so I'm back and expect weekly uploads. So if you like the NBA, please hit that subscribe button for a wide variety of videos. For today, we're doing a tier list, and all that means is that each level represents a level of talent. You could have one player in a tier, you could have 100. It does not matter. It just means that every player in that tier is around the same level. They're still ranked, but you could have 8 players in a tier, and then the 9th player could be in the next tier, meaning even though they're one spot away, they're not on the same level. That's all it means. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're doing the best Laker duos ever. Now, I think there's only 6 that really could contend, 6 great Laker duos. I've seen a lot of people rank Laker players, Laker teams, but I want to focus on duos today, especially with LeBron and AD's recent championship. So I think the 6th best duo for the Lakers is Elgin Baylor and Jerry West. They were very good scorers. Baylor was a great rebounder, even though he was only 6'5". He was 225 pounds, keep that in mind, so he was actually very strong. Great scorer. We know what West could do. Great shooter, great finisher, very clutch. And I do want to go ahead and say we're doing this based on talent and accomplishments, not just one or the other. So they had a lot of talent, but they did not win any rings together. So for that, it's an easy choice for me. We'll put them 6th. All right. Also, keep in mind, I'm doing this live. Most of my videos will be edited, but I think for this type of video, we can do it live, and I think it'll go well. So next is going to be West again, but with Wilt Chamberlain. Keep in mind, this is not prime Wilt. He is very good. He's close, but he wasn't dropping 50 a game. This is a different style of Wilt. He focused more on defense and passing. He did lead the league in assists one year, which was kind of crazy. Still really good, but I don't think he was quite in his prime. And they won 1 ring together and had 2 finals appearances. So, they did really well, but I do think some of these other players were a little bit better. Next, I'm going to go with Kobe and Pau. And the reason why I have them 4th is mainly because of Pau Gasol. I do think Pau is the worst. He's the worst player out of all of these duos. But he's still really good. Pretty underrated. Great passer. Underrated defender in his prime, in my opinion. He could defend the rim pretty well. Very talented. He could shoot mid-range well. He had a nice touch around the rim. And we know what Kobe does, man. Kobe was fantastic. At this point in his career, he was in his prime still, and he was unbelievable. And they almost won 3. Now, I don't want to say like it was insanely close, but in 2008, they did make it to the finals. They did lose to the Celtics. They went on to beat the Magic the next year, and then they got their revenge, and they beat the Celtics in 2010. So they had a really nice history together. Talent-wise, I actually would say talent-wise, we could argue maybe Wilt and West over them because of Pau, not because of Kobe. But for the 2 rings, I'm going to go ahead and have to say when we factor everything in, I'll give them a slight edge. Now we're going to move on, and before people get all mad, I'm going to put LeBron and AD 3rd. I'll put them in the top tier because I'm expecting them to win another one. I think they do have a good shot to win another one. If they don't, I will bump them back down to A tier. But talent-wise, they're fantastic. Unbelievable talent. 2 top 5 players. I would say arguably top 3, to be honest. The versatility offensively and defensively you're getting. You got the passing with LeBron. AD can actually defend all 5 positions. We've heard that term, and some players cannot defend all 5 positions, but he can. This dude's unbelievable. He can shoot. He's kind of like Kevin Durant with a little bit of Giannis. Now, don't freak out and be like, oh, he said he's like just like Kevin Durant. No, he can't shoot quite as well. He can't handle quite as well, but he can handle the ball really well for his size. He can shoot really well for his size. He can splash threes. He's got a great mid-range game, catch and shoot and pull up. He has an amazing offensive arsenal for a power forward. He's so good, man. And I say that he's like Durant because of the fact that he's that big while having, guard-like abilities and shooting abilities like a guard. Plus the fact that he's a little bit like Giannis because he has the defense to defend any position. And honestly, I think AD had a little bit of trouble rebounding this playoff run, but it was mainly because LeBron and Dwight were getting a lot of boards. AD can rebound really well. Don't get it twisted. I just wanted to rant about him for a minute because I think AD is not getting enough love at this point in time. LeBron, we know how great he was. Unbelievable at this point in his career still. You know, his primes lasted so long. I would make the argument he was a little bit better with the Heat, personally, but he's really close to that. I mean, he's still unbelievable. So that duo together is amazing. I wanted to talk about them a little bit more just because they just had that great playoff run. And talent-wise, they're definitely at that top level, at that top tier. They're going to need to win another one to secure that spot for me. If they don't, you know, I may not remake this video, but I would probably say that they deserve to go back down to A tier, but still ranked third. All right, I think I've talked enough about them. Let's go on to number 2. I hate to do this. I wanted to put them in number 1. I'm not going to lie. But it's tough to... We'll go ahead and rank them together because now we know. No shock. It's tough to beat Magic and Kareem. Kobe and Shaq were incredible. They won 3 together. They did lose to the Pistons and the Spurs in 04 and 05. No, I'm sorry. I completely said that wrong. They lost to the Spurs in 2003 and lost to the Pistons in 04. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so they had 3 championships, 4 finals appearances, and they were unstoppable. Kobe, in my opinion, was a top 5 guard. He was a great defender and obviously an unstoppable scorer. He did become better than that. I would say him and Powell, at that point, Kobe was better than he was when he was with Shaq. But Kobe was still fantastic with Shaq. Unbelievable athleticism. No fear. Very clutch. And Shaq was the most dominant player I've ever seen. I know people say that a lot, but it's true. He was unstoppable. There's nobody that could stop him. Shaq went up against David Robinson, slightly past his prime, but still, David Robinson. Later on, Yao Ming. He went up against Mutombo. And I'm saying this because, I mean, he went up against some really good centers. Like, nowadays, we're not seeing as many great centers. And I will say the 90s had probably the best centers ever. But, I mean, Shaq was not going up against a bunch of scrubs. He wasn't doing what Wilt Chamberlain did. Wilt Chamberlain, no disrespect, but he was not going up against the same level of talent that Shaq faced. And like I said, Shaq was facing better competition in the 90s. But he still was facing, you know, some solid centers, no doubt. And he looked unstoppable. Like, he just looked incredible. The dude, his only weakness was free throws, I would say. He was an underrated passer. I want to make note of that. One of the strongest players ever. And at this point, although he looked like he'd be out of shape, he could still get up fairly well for his size. Kobe would throw lobs to him all the time. We know the famous lob against the Trailblazers when they made that epic comeback. That was an amazing oop. But yeah, that was an unbelievable duo, and I'm kind of shocked they didn't win more. Now, the only reason I have Magic and Kareem over them is 5 rings is tough to argue against. While having on the same level talent. Like, talent-wise, Kareem and Magic are close to Kobe and Shaq, I would say, personally. Like, very close talent-wise. But the 5 rings to 3, you can't really argue that. More factoring in talent and achievements, it's got to be Magic and Kareem. Out of all the Laker duos ever, they are the best. Now, if LeBron and AD end up like 3-peating, we're going to have to take another look at this. We're going to have to take another look if that happens. But at this point in time, I think it's fair putting them at 3. And I like my other reasons. So let me know what you guys think. I think that's it for now. I do want to add a few things real quick, actually, on Magic and Kareem. I kind of feel like I passed up on them. Magic was unbelievable at passing. You know what he could do rebounding-wise. You know, he was actually a great rebounder for a point guard because he was 6'9". He could score when he wanted to. I'll say that. He had Kareem, he had Worthy, but the dude could score when he wanted to. He wasn't known as an amazing scorer, but if you needed him to do it, he was great at it. He just didn't do it that much because he had Kareem. Now, he couldn't shoot as well as some other players, but he had great post moves. He was great at finishing at the rim. I just wanted to make the point that he very well could have averaged something like 24, 25 a game, but it was more like, you know, lower 20s, sometimes 19 a game, just because he was focused on passing. He was getting everyone involved, And when you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you just don't need to score as much. So I think Magic is an underrated scorer and the best passer ever. And Kareem was just unstoppable, man. He had crazy longevity. He played for damn near forever and was great the whole time. His skyhook was unstoppable. And let's not forget, I don't know how many all-time defensive awards he got with the Lakers, but for his career, he had 11. So underrated defensively. You know, he was a really good rim protector, unstoppable skyhook, and just consistent, man. Clutch and consistent. So when we look at talent and we look at achievements, the Kings are Magic and Kareem. Let me know what you guys think about this list. Do you think I got it right? And what would you change about it? Because I'm sure not every single person will agree with this. And if you don't agree with every single spot, don't dislike the video just because it wasn't exact. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. If you think I'm at least, fairly close, I would really appreciate a like. And if you like NBA content at all, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot. And have a good day, guys. I'm out.